Hey guys, welcome back to 7 Studio Ave. My name's Joey. You might remember me from the first episode. Before we get started with this episode, make sure to follow us on Twitter at 7 Studio Ave. Check us out on our website, 7studioave.weebly.com, and make sure to subscribe to our mailing list. Let's see who's hosting this episode.
Why, thank you, Joey. It's me, Nature Man Jeff.
What's up? It's Jalen, but you can call me Uncle Jay.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I'm guest starring this week, and I gotta say, it's great to be here.
Special guest.
Woo!
Maddie, what do you specialize in?
I'd say I specialize in Harry Potter and Marvel.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Speaking of Marvel, so this week there were some new posters for Avengers Infinity War. They mainly highlighted characters. We got a close look at some of the costumes and stuff. People have pointed out that you can actually almost sort of see a granular, nanotech look to the new Mark 50, I think it is.
I did not realize he had that many marks, that many suits.
It's a lot.
So many marks. But yeah, so it's clearly based off the Bleeding Edge suit from the comics.
I saw I'm trying to stay away from TV spots, but I did see...
They're kind of hard to avoid.
Yeah, I did see on YouTube a thumbnail showing Iron Man's new... They're calling it a sword. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm trying not to watch it, even though I really want to watch it.
I thought you were going to talk about how there's a commercial for a house hunting service, but it shows him with two arm cannons that are very similar looking to Shuri's from Black Panther.
Interesting.
How many weapons can that guy have?
So many. And now he doesn't even have to store them in his suit. He can just make them with the suit. Yeah. So anyway, there was a few things lacking from these posters, however. Mainly Ant-Man, Wasp, and Hawkeye.
Okay, but Hawkeye's not anywhere so far.
Right.
That's true.
Wait,
Ant-Man and the Wasp are in the movie, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay.
But the thing is, the Russo brothers have said that Hawkeye is definitely in the movie.
They did? Wow.
Yeah, and they said he'll get new gadgets and stuff, so there has to be a reason they're leaving him out of the marketing.
So he's not retired.
Well,
maybe he's in a scene towards the end, or he's not a huge part of the plot.
Well, the Russo brothers said that characters that are sort of in the background in Infinity War will be pushed into the forefront of Avengers 4.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So, me and Logan, who cannot be here today, sadly, were discussing this yesterday. We have a theory that involves the Avengers 4 title, because the Russo brothers have also said that they haven't revealed the title for Avengers 4 because it's a major spoiler. Okay. So, we have theorized that the title for Avengers 4 will be Avengers. It's just Hawkeye. The rest of them are dead.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. Okay, I just want all of our listeners to know that Logan and Jeffrey made me wait to hear that title, and I was expecting something so much more.
Look, it seemed funnier in the moment.
Alright.
So, yeah. Some more Marvel character news. So, through pictures, we've seen the Wave 2 of the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure series for Infinity War. For those of you unfamiliar, Marvel Legends are 6-inch action figures. They're incredibly detailed looking. They're really nice figures. Mm-hmm. Their strategy is that in each wave, there's characters, and there's a Build-A-Figure. So one character will come with an arm, and another will come with a leg, and one with a head. So you have to buy the entire wave to build the figure.
Smart marketing.
Yeah.
Give me your money.
What I don't like is that, so you'll get these tie-ins to movies and stuff, but then they'll also just have random comic book characters. So the first wave for Infinity War, the Build-A-Figure was Thanos, and so and he's the one that you have to collect all the other figures to build. So Maddie, because you're not a exact comics expert, I was wondering if I could pose to you the characters in the set and see if you recognize them.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so Spider-Man, Captain America,
Yeah.
Taskmaster,
Yes.
Iron Man,
No, I have no idea who that is.
Songbird,
No.
and King Cobra.
Yes.
You know who King Cobra... I have no idea who King Cobra is.
He's
My
know who he is
brothers
either.
talked about him. That's the extent of my knowledge.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like a C-list villain for Captain America, something that's.
I see.
But the point is, And this really bothers me for Infinity War particularly, because there are so many characters in Infinity War.
That's true.
Yeah.
You could have an entire wave of, like, just Infinity War characters. So, like, Wave 2 looks like it's going to be Thor, Black Widow, Ant-Man, Wasp, Malekith, and Black Knight. And the Build-A-Figure is Cole Obsidian, who's another member of the Black Order. But there's no Ebony Maw figure that we know. There's no Corvus Glaive. So these are characters that are going to be in Infinity War. And it'd be really cool to have, like, a set. There's no Bucky figure that we know of. There's no Rhodey figure.
Yeah, they're not making the most of that. I can see why you'd
like,
be a little frustrated with that.
Yeah, because it's just a bit bothersome.
Alright.
So, yeah. Moving into some more news. The Rampage movie. So, for those of you who have somehow avoided the marketing, it's based off a video game from, what is it, the 80s, Joey?
Yeah.
You're the video game expert?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't realize it was that old.
But so, yeah. So, from the trailers, it looks like The Rock and a giant gorilla team up to save a city from a giant wolf and a crocodile. I think that's the gist of it.
There were a lot more monsters in the video games, but apparently just put in the wolf and the crocodile, apparently. So.
But this movie has recently come into controversy by a man named Uwe Boll, who's an independent film director, and he's suing Warner Brothers and demanding they change the title of Rampage because he has directed a series of films called Rampage.
No other relation except for the title,
Yeah, it's
though.
literally just the title. And the films aren't that great from what I read. The synopsis of one of them said, and I quote, "A vengeful man dons body armor and executes strangers." So,
Wow, amazing plot.
Yeah,
I
it
like
sounds
it.
great.
10 out of 10.
so yeah, this guy,
100% Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, there you go.
this guy just seems like he's just. It seems like he's more upset that he won't have the most popular Rampage movie. He's like, darn, I specifically...
Or he knows his movies are trash and he just wants money.
Right. But what I'm saying is, he thought, what's a movie that nothing... What's a word that's a cool word that no movie's been called before? Rampage? That's cool. I'll make a trilogy of films. I'm brilliant. And this was back in, like, 2009, and so it's all these years later that the guy's like, what? This is damaging my brand.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems just kind of
That no
marketing
one knew
because
about.
I had no idea that these existed until now.
Even though Rampage, the video game, which the new movie is based on, dates back to the 80s.
So you think he'll win?
I don't think he'll win.
I don't think he'll win.
So,
Not to mention Warner Bros. Probably has a lot more money to buy way better lawyers.
Yeah, and
Right.
even if they did lose, they still have
A ton of
so much money.
yeah.
So speaking of video games, I have some news for everyone. The new video games coming out are God of War, State of Decay, and Detroit Become Human. I think the most important one out of all of these is definitely God of War.
That looks really interesting.
Yeah, it comes out April 20th of this year, and it's made by Sony, and it's only on PlayStation 4.
Dang it.
So far, I've heard, so far it's got a 4.9 as its top review. So
Yeah, it looks like the developing team put a lot of effort into this game.
Mm-hmm.
They've been talking about it for years now, and the animation is amazing. The story looks really interesting. For those of you that don't know, I'm pretty sure the story is about the son of
Kratos.
Yeah, the son of Kratos, and their journey. They go on a journey together. That's the pretty vague plot summary. I don't know a ton of details, but it looks really interesting, really good.
And what's interesting is that the God of War, like, the original games, like, take place within, like, the Greek pantheon. So, like, Zeus, Hades, Athena, and it's Kratos kind of involved with them. And this new game will involve, like, the Norse pantheon and the Norse gods. So that looks really cool.
Yeah, I always find it really interesting. Growing up, I think there's the majority of video games you play, usually, although they might have good gameplay, the stories are lackluster. So I'm always really impressed by games when they have good story. Like that always impresses me a lot.
cough, Destiny.
Yeah, so... and then along the video game news, we recently were notified that the Spider-Man game for PS4 will be coming out September 7th. So we'll talk more about that once we get closer to the release. I'm really excited about that game.
Weren't you saying that this game will like show sort of a new point of view of Peter Parker?
Yes, it's going to show him. Usually when we get video games or movies about Peter Parker, he's a teenager, or it's just when he's starting to become Spider-Man. And in this video game, it's when he's been Spider-Man for years now. He's a young adult. His life's going pretty well. He's skilled. He's
Millennial Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He swings right past an avocado stand.
He doesn't have he's come to terms with his abilities, and he's proficient in using them. So I thought that's really cool. Very different looking suit. It's got a really nice huge white design that's in the design of a spider that covers his whole chest and his whole torso and spreads to his arms. It's a really cool design. And the villain is what is it, Mr. Negative? Is
Mr. Negative.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen that villain that much, and he looks really awesome. The animation looks incredible, and the special thing about Spider-Man villains that everyone knows is that they always relate to him in a personal level.
They're always like, oh no, my teacher's a lizard man.
Yeah.
Oh no, my teacher has robotic arms.
Exactly.
I completely forgot Lizard Man was a thing.
Or my coworker is Venom.
My best friend's dad is a Goblin Man.
Exactly. So they have these like personal connections, these personal ties, and they make for some of the best villains in the superhero world.
No, my girlfriend's dad is a supervillain.
One reason why I'm not a big fan of Spider-Man is because his villains are cooler. I like Venom and Carnage. They're like my favorite villains.
Well, speaking of Carnage, so the Venom movie's coming up with Tom Hardy. Now, a couple weeks ago, there were rumors that we wouldn't see too much of the actual Venom suit, but it seems like Sony has come out and said, no, you'll see it, don't worry.
For 5 minutes at the end.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But so, yeah. Also, towards the end, there are rumors that Carnage will make an appearance. And
I hope so.
He's a character similar to Venom, except he's red.
Wait, isn't Carnage supposed to be the antagonist in the film? Or is it, or not?
I don't know, I've heard different rumors.
Okay.
So there's one rumor is that this character Carnage will be played by none other than Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I love Woody Harrelson as an actor, so...
I'm excited to see what he does in Solo.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean... Carnage, what's the guy's name? Cassidy?
Cletus Cassidy.
Cletus Cassidy is a serial killer, correct?
Right.
Yes.
And he's pretty crazy and out there, so I'm interested to see how Woody Harrelson portrays that, like, maniac almost.
So, like, almost what you were saying earlier about Spider-Man's villains, a lot of them are these sort of misfits of science. Like, you can sort of sympathize with them in some way. Like, Dr. Octopus accidentally killed his wife with a science experiment.
Yeah.
Electro fell into a vat of eels, yes.
Yeah.
The Lizard Man doesn't want to... He doesn't want to be a lizard man, he just wants his arm. But the thing with Carnage is he's not like that. Like, you can't... He's almost like the Joker in some ways. Like, just pure chaos that cannot be reasoned with.
Yeah, he's very different. That's why I don't think he's been portrayed in movies that much, because of the fact that it's hard to give like for a good villain, you want to understand their perspective,
right?
And we see that happen even like in Black Panther with Killmonger, but you can't really do that with a serial killer, and they haven't really given him a backstory. That I think he did have a tough childhood. I think that's the only thing really, but
who doesn't have a tough childhood in comics?
Yeah, but tough childhood doesn't equal serial killer, so...
Spider-Man had a tough childhood. He's not a serial killer.
Yeah, exactly. Alright.
What's next
Do
on
we
the
have some
list?
other news?
I just want to reference that real quick, that My Hero Academia, which we discussed in our anime episode, Season 3, the first episode is coming out today, April 7th? Today?
Yeah, April 7th.
April 7th. And, so maybe next week I'll get Brandon back on the show and we can discuss the first episode. He also told me that he watched the first episode of Tokyo Ghoul Re, which we discussed as well, and he has some stuff to talk about that, which we will also talk about possibly next week.
Alright, that sounds really ghoul.
Never.
Whoa.
No, stop.
Okay. So, Maddie, you were saying earlier, you're sort of a Harry Potter expert.
Yeah, sure.
What were your thoughts on the Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald trailer?
Alright, so if I remember correctly, they apparate into the school at one point.
Yeah.
That bugs me.
Yeah, because as Hermione Granger has said many times, you cannot apparate onto the grounds of Hogwarts.
Yeah, and didn't Dumbledore have to turn it off in Book 6 for them to go and get the locket from the little area?
Well, that's the thing with the movies versus books. In the books, don't they like apparate from Hogsmeade?
Right, yeah,
right,
yeah.
So like they like fly to Hogsmeade, and then
Is it Hogsmeade or Hogsmeade?
I don't know how the British say it.
I mean, there's an E at the end, so I say mead. But
I've always said Hogsmeade. I mean, I read it a long time ago, so I don't really know,
Yeah,
but
so
I was just curious.
I'm wondering if they'll justify it like they're not they're not in Hogwarts. They're just like outside the school.
I don't know.
The one thing that could be interesting is if this movie establishes the reason.
Yeah,
that
that's
you
what I
can't.
was thinking.
Like if something absolutely terrible happens. We also see Jude Law as young Dumbledore, or as he shall now be referred to as Youngledore.
Oh, gosh.
And so he's talking about Newton. You know what I wonder? Dumbledore's supposed to be like one of the most powerful wizards in the world, right?
Yeah.
So why is he always like, oh, I can't do this. It must be you, Harry. It can't be me. It has to be you, Newt.
Character development.
Like, what are you doing, Dumbledore?
Plot.
Like, so we also see briefly Johnny Depp's Grindelwald, which
Yeah.
should be pretty interesting.
Johnny Depp's a good actor. I think he'd play.
Bit
Oh God,
Controversy.
of a terrible person.
that's true.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
we got some passionate opinions about Johnny Depp in this group.
Oh, but this is definitely good news. We can see Jacob Kowalski's back.
Yeah.
So he got his memory back. He was probably one of the best parts of the original Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, there's no way they would have been able to get rid of him. He was a fan
Right.
favorite.
Mm-hmm. We also see briefly that whatchamacallit, Credence is back.
Oh, Credence.
Yeah, he's got a better haircut this time. It's not a bowl
Thank
cut.
everything. Oh my
Not a bowl
gosh.
cut. Oh jeez.
What year does this movie take place?
I know
It's
the
in the
first
20s, I
Yeah, the
think.
first one took place 1926.
Wow.
So I forget when this one takes place.
And didn't the original Harry Potter take place in the 90s?
In the
Yes.
90s, yeah.
Interesting.
You don't remember all those times that Ron said, "Radical Harry"?
Is that a 90s thing or something? I don't know.
Yeah, Radical was in the 90s, man.
Oh, okay. I'm too
I'm
young.
not. I guess I'm not radical enough.
But so yeah. What are your thoughts on the Harry Potter movies in general?
So, of course, whenever you're making a movie adaptation of a book, things are going to get a bit lost. But there were certain key plot points that they just completely omitted. Like, Draco's character development, gone. There was none of that.
Peeves the Poltergeist.
Peeves! He was my favorite when I was reading the first book, and then he's just not there? Are you kidding?
I do have to say, so I read the Harry Potter books like when I was like 8 or 9, and then finished them when I was like 10. And I watched the movies years ago, and I haven't seen them in a while. But of the I would say young adult books that were adapted in the most recent decade, like Hunger Games or Divergent, or even Maze Runner, I think the Harry Potter movies probably did the best out of all of those.
Yeah.
And they started
Definitely.
that whole trend of the last book or the last movie having 2 parts.
And I think Deathly Hallows is the only scenario in which that's justified.
because
Yeah,
it's
and
such a dense book.
And
You
it
can't
worked
put it all
really,
into a movie.
really
It did
well.
work
It
pretty
worked
well.
better than any of the other movies. So I
The
do
others
have
felt
to give
forced.
them a round of applause for making decent book adaptations.
Yeah.
Even if they somehow missed like the young actress that plays Lily has like different color
Yeah.
eyes than Daniel Radcliffe. It's
Like- by no means were they bad at all.
right, but and it's literally just like 2 minutes and a flashback, but still,
Yeah, just give her some contacts or something.
yeah,
So.
you're CGI.
CGI is sometimes a bit risky.
Oh yeah,
And the movies were kind of not old, but they were a little while back, so
right.
it might have been.
They
a
still
little,
had some pretty impressive CGI.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
If they could like somehow make it look like Ralph Fiennes didn't have a nose for a couple movies, surely they could have changed the person's eyes for a couple minutes.
That's true.
Or just hire someone because she doesn't have any lines.
No, she just sits there.
Just find a kid that has the correct color eyes.
And
Look-
red hair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a casting or Hollywood producer of any kind. It just seems like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that comes out. Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald. That takes place. That comes out next November, I believe.
Okay.
I think so.
In the trailer, we see the little bow truckle, one of the creatures.
Yeah.
Which ones do you think? I'm pretty sure we'll see some new ones, but do you think there'll be any recurring characters? I
don't know.
I hope the Niffler's back.
I do too. I liked him.
The Niffler was pretty hysterical.
I feel like they're going to try to just introduce a bunch of more new characters, though.
Will they be from like the actual physical book? Do you think?
I think some of them will be, to start to tie into the original Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
Start making those connections. Yeah.
Oh, also a while back on Twitter, someone asked J.K. Rowling what Newt's Patronus was, and much like Avengers: Infinity War title, she said she couldn't say because it would be a massive spoiler.
Now, I haven't, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan myself. I was forced to watch the last Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. When did that movie come out again? I was
2016.
2016? Okay, so it's going to be 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about, Jalen?
Nothing for today. I was thinking about possibly in the future, you guys, I would like to hear if there's any Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, DC Legends.
I'm so behind on the Flash.
Me too.
So
I got mad at the end of season 2. I got mad at the finale, so I haven't started season 3 yet.
I haven't even. I finished
I
season
fell off
3.
the third or fourth episode of season 3 because it was just like people going, "Wow, good job, Barry! You messed up the timeline."
Again,
And it was
it gets confusing.
quite repetitive and stuff.
Well, I can tell you from someone who's caught up that he learned his lesson and he's not making that mistake again.
Also, I saw that Savitar twist from a mile away.
Same here.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, well, what I was saying is, if you guys want to go to our website and write something to our producer about if you want to hear anything about the CW shows, I'd be happy to do some reviews and talk about it with some of my peers. So just let us know.
Yeah, let us know your opinions. You can tweet at us at 7 Studio Ave on Twitter. Just like, okay, here's a challenge. Give us a review of that. Give us a review of them in 3 words.
I like that. I like that idea. Like the episode that came out that week. Give a 3-word review.
They don't even have to be like strung together. Just like 3 descriptive words.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah.
All right, I think that's all we have for you guys today.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
We're also trying to work on an outro. A lot of podcasts have a fun, witty thing they say at the end. So if you have any suggestions for an outro for us, send them over. Because there's been a bit of controversy here at the studio.
I want to give a big thanks to our special guest, Maddie. Thank you for coming
thanks for
today.
doing this.
thank you. It was
Big
really
help.
fun.
All right, that's it. We'll see you guys some other time.
Thanks for tuning in.
Catch you in 7.
Oh, gosh.